YouTube, Facebook family, what's going on? We have arrived in Oklahoma. It's Natalie, Egypt, and I, and we have a confession. I can't lie.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mom.
So yesterday we had a plan. We were gonna wake up, get everything done, and then get on the road around midnight. And at that point, the drive was gonna be 16 hours and 45 minutes. And we're like, we got this. We can do this. But then we got ahead of ourselves, and we didn't sleep because we were doing things around the property. And Neco slept for like maybe 45 minutes, and it was midnight. I was like, hey, do you want to get on the road? He didn't move. And then we started weren't even packed fully yet. But then I looked at the trip, and it went from 16 hours and 45 minutes to 17 hours and 45 minutes, and it said that there was like a storm warning. And I was like, do we want to drive through this storm? So we started looking at flights. And at this point, it's 1 a.m.
Is that cheating? Because y'all got to think about it. We are in Florida. See that? If you're new to the channel, we are located in Central Florida. We literally are going from the edge of our great country to the middle of our great country. It's a far drive.
It is.
So I don't know if it's cheating or not, but we had to take a plane, y'all. Like,
yeah.
I cut the yard yesterday. I worked on a project for the pigs, which you saw was my most likely, if you're watching this, my previous upload about the project I did in the pig pen for their feeder. I was doing that. Like, we
had family in town unexpectedly. He just like knocked out back there because she's knocked out because she stayed up late hanging out with her cousins. And yeah, so we ended up booking a flight, and it kind of worked out a little bit because SJ wanted to stay and play with one of her other cousins that's back at home with Nana. So it was just 3 of us, and we found flights. And now it's 3:23, whereas if we would have drove here, it said that we would get here around 6. And that was if we would have left at 1. But
yeah. So this is Thursday, prior to no pun intended because it's in Pryor, but prior to the beginning of the expo. So today we're just going to be chilling. We're on our way to the hotel. We might meet up with some of the some other content creators, and then the main event begins tomorrow. So thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for coming along on this trip with us. Stay tuned. I'm gonna capture as much as I can for you.
All right.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is the next day. We arrived yesterday, as you know, flew into Tulsa International, and we are getting this party started. So for these 2 days, I'm on parking, and not only parking, but as you can see over here, right at the entrance. So there's a good chance that if you came to the expo this year, you probably saw me at the entrance during the morning time. That's my shift. But really excited to be here. Have already met a lot of amazing people and some of the channels that we all know and love, and just really looking forward to a great 2 days here at the expo. So if you made it, hopefully I had an opportunity to meet you. If you didn't make it to the expo, follow along with me. I'm going to take you over everything that my family and I experienced over these 2 days, and hopefully you can feel like you were here even though you weren't able to make the trip. Alrighty. Y'all, look at these tractors. I'm gonna try to get a close-up later on today for you, but they are old antique tractors and they all run. And this is my job. So as you drive up, I interact with you. So once again, we're over here on parking. We have wristbands. We've had vendors, a lot of consumers here for the expo showing up. Y'all, look at this behind me. You can barely see it because of the building, but I thought I left Florida to get out of the sun for, 4 days or so. It followed me. It's only about 8 a.m. almost, and it's really hot. Whew. An hour left, y'all, until my shift is over. I've been having fun this morning. If you happen to have seen me this morning, it was a pleasure meeting you. I've been having conversations with almost everybody, which is great, as busy as it is. So yeah, really looking forward to this weekend, y'all. Another car pulling up. Y'all, we've sent Gary all the way down there, maybe 5 cars a day, 10 tops so far. I think he has the tent that we need to try to get next year.
But don't freak out about your brooder. You don't need to go spend hundreds of dollars on this amazing brooder, because what if next week you decide this was stupid and I hate this, I don't want to do this anymore. So use what you have. Like I said, playpens are my favorite, and just start from there. Old stock tanks that don't hold water. My administrator at my school bought this big playpen. I mean, it's ginormous, for his dog to have puppies in, and that didn't work out, so now it's my brooder, and I really like it. Heat lamps versus heat plates. I like the heat plates because they you can touch them and they don't burn you. If the kids aren't thinking or not paying attention, or even myself, they won't start a fire. They have a regulator on them. It can't get too hot. You can make them go different heights, so when my chicks are small, I start it out, and then as they start growing, I lift up one side, leave the other side. That way, if someone wants that warmer heat, they can go over there. If they want to move away from it, they can come over here. And then in another week, I raise up that side and I leave the other side. I just keep going back and forth. Heat lamps do work, but I'm just a firm believer in the plates now that I have them. Water and feeder, we've used lots of different kinds. Neco in my brooders is one of my favorites. The feeder that they stick we just got it not very long ago, the feeder they stick their heads in because they can't scratch it. Those things, when they're just a few days old, if they can get in that feed, they're gonna sling it everywhere that they can. The waters, I really like their waters as well. But use what you got, use what your local place has, and then start looking around or shopping up or whatever. Use pine shavings. Cedar, they say, will give birds respiratory problems, so we use cedar shavings. If you guys watch my videos, we tried the dog puppy pad things. Someone else did it and she made it look amazing. And if she only did it for that video, I'm mad at her, because I really thought it was going to be a hit. Maybe it was the cheap puppy pads I bought, maybe it was, I don't know, but it was a disaster. They were pecking at they were like ripping them apart. Maybe my chickens were too old, I don't know. But I was really excited that this was going to work, and it didn't. Someone sent me some rewashable pads to try out. Okay, so
What's his name? Ferdinand. I don't know. You smell some more?
I'm used to give all I have. I'm used to get nothing back. Wherever I go, it's the same. There's no excuses, no one to blame. Sometimes I can understand how it can be so hard to stay out of pain. But with you, everything has changed. Even though we both stay the same. Would you call me on the midnight train? Would you come over when nothing's right? Would you hold me tight in the rain? Even as we're having a fight. Say you, say you.
And what would be left of the flat iron stick, which isn't much because on these little pigs, they're really small. Because there's a tendon that goes through there. So on this little piece, it's really not worth saving. On this piece,
It can be so hard to stay out of pain. But with you, everything has changed. Even though we both stay the same. Would you call me on the midnight train? Would you come over when nothing's right? Would you hold me tight?
this is what I felt. And he's like, okay, hit them, so they would go when they're doing the garden.
And I was scared to death. These things are huge and
They weigh over a ton a piece. Eligible. We got two, a mother and daughter.
And then here's another thing, for a lot of you guys, you know,
Brought his team over and everything and plowed up the garden for us. So you have to lean on the people that you're becoming friends with when you're there. They'll be glad to help
make
you.
some pie, bring some bread to them, you know, when you have friends, there's other lots of other people there, guys, you have doctors that you can work with. And then especially, and this is my thing that I tell everyone, and I think it's huge.
Don't listen to what everyone else says. Take your time. You're not their mess. Yeah, you might not be at your best, but it's fine. I don't mind telling truths when you need to hear them, and be kind when that's what you prefer. How about when you can't see a way out, help you fight and let you know that it won't always be this way. You will get there someday.
Oh wow. See Egypt?
To Broadway and chill out on Sundays.
All right, Egypt, so far, what has been your favorite part today of day one? Everything? Did you like the tahini Skittles? All of it? It's been fun. One of the things we had to do, show them what we went on a hunt for, Egypt. We ran into Farmer Rhett, y'all, and what did he tell us to go do, Egypt?
As in Sahara, a baby giraffe.
Yes. So we went on a mission and we found it, and I'll show y'all their booth. They do a bunch of crochet, different animals, and they had a bunch of cute ones. And so we found Sahara a giraffe because since we decided to fly, they only had 3 flights. She didn't make it with us, but she's gonna make it to her graduation. And Farmer Red thought about her, so he said we had to get Sahara a baby giraffe. And when he said baby giraffe, me and Egypt were like, what? We thought he meant a big giraffe, but he meant a crochet giraffe. And what did you get, Egypt? Which one did you pick? Yes. If y'all didn't know, y'all, Egypt loves unicorns and horses. It comes close to Pokemon. Or do unicorns beat Pokemon, or is it a tie? A tie? Yep. She loves her some unicorns. So this is the booth that Farmer Rhett sent us to. And as you can see, they have like octopus and dinosaurs, other giraffes, and they're all handmade and super cute. But they have a pretty big selection. So earlier, Egypt and I came here to the freeze-dried candy, and they have a beautiful selection of different goodies. Oh, Egypt, we didn't see the milk duds. Nana loves milk duds, y'all. We might have to get her some milk duds. And they have the peach rings. And what we ended up getting earlier were some sour Skittles. What else did we get, Egypt? Y'all, Egypt loves her some marshmallows. So she found these.
Also, we drawed in the contest.
What else did we do?
We drawed in the contest.
What was your guess, Egypt?
400.
So they have a contest for how many freeze-dried Skittles you think? They even had Skittles with tahini, y'all, and we love us some tahini. So we got some of those too. So this is the jar. Egypt, show them the jar.
So she didn't win. You need to put tomorrow's guess in. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
You can put a guess in for tomorrow, so don't guess the same thing.
Yeah, you gotta guess a different number.
You gotta guess a different number.
Yeah. What did you guess the first time? 400. So she guessed 400. Show the jar. Show them the jar so they can see what it looks like. We are almost there. The Okie Homesteading Expo. We made it, Egypt.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? I had a significantly shorter day helping with parking today on day 2. But in those 4 hours I was up there, we probably let through as many in those 4 hours as we did the entire day yesterday. So it was an amazing morning. Thank you to everyone that's here for day 2 of the expo. If you couldn't be here this year, once again, join me. This is day 2. But make plans to be here next year. It's really, it's really worth it. I'm inside with the vendors right now, and there's so many of them. And Natalie's shopping, y'all. She's taking all my money. I'm telling you, watch. Let me show you her in Egypt.
So y'all, Egypt had to come back today to try to redeem herself from the guess on how many freeze-dried Skittles are in the jar. How many are you gonna guess today? She's gonna guess 700. Yesterday she guessed 400, but it was too low. And we gotta come back to see if they have some milk duds, because we can't go back home without anything for Nana. And that's Nana's favorite candy. I think they do have some milk duds.
We've got 2 packages left. Dina, I'm not finding them blanks.
What?
Well, I'm here at our favorite booth so far because this is our second time coming by.
It's our fourth. It's our fourth.
Yeah, we'll show some footage of everything that we've purchased. I just got freeze-dried pickles, but wanted to give them some time to introduce themselves, who they are, and what they do.
Well, I'm Jack Dyer, and we own a farm in Harlow, Oklahoma. We got hot tunnels and greenhouses, chickens, and cows, and the whole 9 yards, and we bought a freeze dryer for our own preservation of food, and then we got into the candy business, and y'all, it's been such a blessing. The Lord is good. You can't outgive the Lord.
Yes.
I'm telling you, y'all get out there and just do something, whatever it is, as long as it's legal and moral, get after it. Thank y'all for checking us out on YouTube.
Yes, and you can follow them, Dyer Family Farm. It's on his shirt.
Yep.
So go check them out, y'all. They're on Facebook and YouTube. Yep.
YouTube and Facebook. Alrighty. Thank you, man.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Look at the bees.
Well, maybe it was fate when you walked in the door. I could have sworn I've seen your face before. So glad that you said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to hold. All those little moments, the bites you didn't catch me looking over your shoulder, just at the right time. Those little moments all led me to you. Only God knew about all those little moments.
So Egypt is doing a calf, like a simulation on how to help birth a calf. And she did it yesterday, but today she said she thinks she got it by herself, but she needs a little help.
Gotta pull it hard. Pull it. Let me see.
Let's go. Let's pull.
Pull, 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 pull. Oh, that's how it goes. Damn. That's pretty cool.
Sneeze. And check for, make sure we don't have another one. Once we do that, we'll dig it out of the way. Sound good?
All right, guys, I'm here with Olive Branch Aquaponics. And we're having a cool conversation because we passed by, and y'all know we want to get started in like figuring out what does our garden look like, and how to get started in Florida with the sand there. But I met this awesome person, so she's gonna walk us through the process of what this looks like.
Yeah, so this is aquaponics. Essentially, we're using fish to feed our plants. And what that looks like is we have totes. This is about a 210-gallon tote. At the farm, there's a little tilapia there. So
Tilapia.
We're utilizing tilapia in this space. You can also use goldfish. You can use koi. It really doesn't matter. We like tilapia because it's a good food source for us. It's another protein. They repopulate really quickly, and so we're able to just kind of, we can harvest and replace as many times as we want to. So they secrete their waste. As much food as we give them, they produce that much waste. And so from here, once they secrete their waste, we filter that water through a particulate filter that takes the solid waste out and allows the ammonia to flow through the water into the media beds. So this media is like an expanded clay. It's very porous, it has a lot of holes in it. So what I like to call it is a microbe hotel. There is tons of microbes in here that love the ammonia. They take the ammonia and they convert it to nitrates, which is a form of nitrogen that plants need to grow. And so they start to grow. Once they're growing, they're using the nitrates, which means that they're essentially cleaning the water. The water's cleaned from all of the ammonia and nitrates, and it's replaced back into the fish, and the fish have nice clean water again. So it's just this really closed loop system of the fish feeding the plants and the plants cleaning the water, and it's really awesome. Nature works this way. Sometimes we just need to get out of the way. And so we've done that in a contained environment to make it work better. But yeah, so you can do this, you can use media. You also can use just water and have floating beds on top that are like styrofoam beds. Lettuce does really good like that, so a lot of people use that type of system. We also use the top of our tanks, and we have a couple of floating beds that we use for our this is a protein source that we give to our animals. It's like a fodder. Duckweed is the small plants here. This multiplies like overnight. It's like magic. It's everywhere. And you can't get rid of it once you have it, so you better make sure you want it. It's 35% protein though, and its macro and micro mineral content is insane. We could literally live off of this, and so can animals. So we use this as a supplement for our tilapia because they're vegetarians, and we also use it for our ducks, our chicken, our geese, our goats. Every animal that we have loves this, and because of its protein content, the minerals are so good for them. Our chickens lay like crazy when they're getting duckweed, so that's really awesome. So we're hoping to be able to take this, dehydrate it with like some beets and things like that, pelletize it, and really start using it as a food source for our fish, because that's literally like the last thing that we're lacking to be able to be a complete closed loop system. So we still get our commercial feed, but we're working on that as well. So.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
We really appreciate it. And like she said, we're heading towards our first official garden in the fall. And she was telling me about this yesterday and was so excited. And I was interested when y'all parked yesterday and y'all parked today. I was like, man, what are they doing
So
there?
today I was like, I'm going there.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
This is going, of course, so a little one-on-one.
Right. Yep. Well, once again, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
All right.
You'll notice it's a pretty heavy oak beam there. You'll notice when I give them the step up command, they'll end up, their heads will come down and they'll really lay into the yoke is what we call it, push into the yoke and hopefully move that beam. We'll see. All right, boys, come up, Clark. Come up, Lewis. Come up. Good boys. Come up, Lewis. Lewis, you're slacking. Good boy.
So these Devons are 3-year-olds? They're about as big as they're going to get?
No, actually, they'll get twice their size.
Twice that
Oh, wow.
And he says, I will be my master's forever, me and my household. It's that kind of relationship. And that's the kind of relationship Christ is calling us to come into relationship with him. And literally, it's an old Christian cliche, but it is so, it's so right if we want it to be.
Oh, I forgot. I gotta always do this at school. It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, shoot. Does your friends go 1, 2, 3, or rock, paper, scissors, what you got, blah, 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 and add all that stuff? That's an Oklahoma thing. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ready, go. Oh, go again, you're tied. Don't change it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, we got you. Okay, go in the line. You ready? You got this. You're confident. Come on. Ready? I'm not going yet. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. All right, who is it? You? Okay, she's got one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Woo! Okay, she gets to pick. You want the wallet or the keychain thing?
So our ration at home is we feed 3/4 of a pound of Mormon's beef trait every day to every calf. 3/4 of a pound per head per day. And they get all the whole corn they want to eat. I never limit their corn. When we feed, we put out, what I tell Clancy and Kylie when she was there helping us feed is, I never want our steers to see the bottom of their feed trough. And the reason being is if we've got 6 steers in there, and I walk out there in the afternoon we fed this morning, I walk out there this afternoon and that feed trough is empty, what does that tell you? Somebody didn't get to eat everything they wanted, right? If that feed trough is lit clean, somebody didn't get to eat. Somebody left the feed trough empty. They didn't get to fill up. And if your goal is to make your cattle gain as much weight as you can, get the most beef you can out of it, you never want them to be hungry. It needs to be an open buffet for them from daylight till dark. They need to be able to just eat as much as they want. And cattle come up at different times. If you've got a bully in the pen, when he goes up there to eat, he may not let everybody else eat. So your take home or your retail cut is going to be 60 to 65% of your hanging weight. So that means when we bring that steer home as retail cuts to put in our freezer, or if we were going to sell it to an individual that wanted to buy a calf from us, we have 565 pounds of marketable meat to sell to a consumer, okay, or to bring home and put in our freezer.
Well, we appreciate you being a part of it too, Daniel. Thank you, DJ. She sat over there and looked pretty all day, but we can't thank all you guys enough for coming. Like he said, it's tons of work, but it pays off. When we see like-minded people coming to learn alongside us, the more self-reliant we are, the better off we all are, not just as families, but the community-wise. So that's why we do this, make it family-friendly. We're all having a good time and learning together. We couldn't do it without all our awesome people who volunteer. We had over 70 people volunteer. Cannot do it without the volunteer. You guys will see people like Brandon and Gary and Cassie, and don't want to miss anyone, but you guys know who you are. Mike, all you guys. We couldn't do it without them. We just appreciate everyone that's been a part of it.
Now you know they planned it.
So guys, like he said, thank you so much. Exactly what he said. Without all of you, this would not be possible. There's so many turning wheels to this. A lot of planning, a lot of stress, but it's all worth it in the end, so thank you so much.
All right, everybody, so that's our recap. That is day 1 and day 2 of the Okie Homestead Expo. Natalie and I's first time going, and we had an amazing time. Definitely worth the trip, definitely worth going from driving to flying and ending up here in Oklahoma. So let's actually kick it off with you first, Mama. What are your thoughts of the Okie Homestead Expo in Pryor, Oklahoma?
Well, first, one of the things that I enjoyed was flying and not driving. Overall, I think it was a great experience. We got to go to some of the courses, and it was cool because I even took some of them, or went to some of them that it seems like we may not ever do or be interested in, like oxen. I don't know that we'll get oxen in the future, but that was one of my favorite highlights that I was sharing with him that I really enjoyed. And learning, like, I watched one of the chefs, like, understand how to cook different things with meat, because as you all know, I love to cook. So I really enjoyed that one. I didn't spend too much time there because Egypt wanted to go and see if she won the Skittle contest. But I had a chance to go back again and check it out again. But it was also really nice just to kind of meet and network with different people. I love meeting people, as we have joked about before. I am a social butterfly, so even just talking to different people who came from other areas to come to the Homesteading Expo with us and fellowship, in a sense, around things that we're all passionate about, was really nice. And out of all the vendors, of course, you know, Ma and Paul was #1 for me. But the other one that I really enjoyed connecting with, which you all saw in the video, was Aquaponics. I sat there with her before we even filmed, just grilling her and asking different questions, and she was really informative, but then also authentic, which I appreciated. And she shared with us her journey, and it resonated with me, which is why I was like, hey, can we film with you? I want to ask you some questions, because she was really authentic, and I appreciated that. But she gave us some things to think about now that we're going to start doing our gardening, and that journey, and some things that we hadn't thought about before. But yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I would say that being here, period, last year when I saw the event and a lot of the recaps of the event, I automatically knew that I wanted to be there for year 2. And very fortunate and blessed we were able to do that this year, and volunteer on parking. I got to meet so many great people, whether it was a vendor, someone coming for the event, one of the speakers or presenters. I got to meet just about everyone working at that front gate and just connect with people in a different way than just running into them during the expo or not talking to them at all because maybe you don't know them. Like, I got to speak to probably 90% of the people that attended the expo as they were coming to park, which was very fun. And what's interesting is I'm actually the opposite of Natalie, and we talked about this in our story video, but off camera, I'm very reserved, quiet, laid back, a homebody. But on camera and in situations like when I was doing parking, like I flipped that switch. And that also comes from what I do for a job. So it was fun engaging with everybody.
Yeah, and what was funny, I would meet different people with Egypt as we were exploring, and then Neco would come walk up, and then it would be like, wait, that's your, because they had a great experience with him at the gate, and there was one lady, she was like, this sweet gentleman, you know, he helped us park yesterday, and today he was there to greet us, and he remembered us, and Egypt and I were like, what did he look like? And it was funny because she saw the picture on my phone of our family, and she was like, that's your husband? So it was just funny because he was way more social than he typically is. He's more chill, but he was doing his thing.
And typically in moments like that, once again, filming or something social like that, I can be. But if the camera's off, I'm at home, quiet and reserved. But overall, had a great time at the entire expo. My favorite course, I would probably say Bar 7. That's the one that I found myself most engaged in because they were talking about something or speaking about something that I had a true interest from start to end in learning about, which was raising beef, raising steers, right? My favorite vendor, Mom and Pa, they're just amazing people. Mr. and Mrs. A, if you watch Chad at Adler Farms, they're just amazing people. Also got to meet their daughter and son-in-law. So just, you know, the family doing their thing.
And the Dyer family, they were great. We went and bought candy from them. Okay, I say we, I mean Egypt and I, about 5 or 6 times. We're not gonna talk about it, but we went back because they were so nice. But then their story was great too, and the candy was delicious, so that helped us.
Yeah. So if we're rating it on a 5-star system, 0 stars through 5 stars, I would give it 5 stars. I think it's safe to say that we'll be back next year for year 3. And if you weren't able to make it this year, do all you can to be there for year 3. It's only going to get bigger and bigger. So I know and can only imagine what next year's expo is going to bring. How would you rate it?
Oh yeah, 5. Hands down.
Absolutely.
The one tip I would say for those of you who join next year, if there's like a course timeline that you're like, man, I want to be here and I want to go to this one. If it's 2 of you split up, Neco and I did that where I was at the Oxen one and he was attending a different one because there were courses that we both were interested in, but we couldn't be there or, you know, be in 2 places at once. So just split up to get the most out of it and then share notes and stuff later. But yeah, hands down. Next year we'll bring SJ and she's even more social than I am. So it'll be great.
Yeah. So once again, thank you for watching our recap. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like 20, 30, maybe 40 recaps.
Yeah.
So thank you for clicking on our video. And hopefully we did a great job of bringing you along on our journey. So if you weren't there, you could feel like you were. Alrighty, y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.